We begin our tale with Naruto Uzumaki being born at the same time as two other children. The two other children would be his two twin brother and sister, younger than him as they were born just seconds after him. Naruto, Menma, and Mito were their names. Naruto would start crying as he was being taken away, and then the two nurses that were holding the three kids would fall to the ground. Two of the babies would fall down and would start crying, while another one would be held by a masked man. The masked man would look at the Hokage, pointing a kunai at the baby. Now, the following events will occur just as per normal, up until the third Hokage actually pushing the Nantals away. Once the third Hokage was able to push the Nantals outside the village, not only did Minato and Kushina arrive with their three kids, but the third Hokage was able to, told Minato to stop using the Reaper, to stop doing the hand sign of the Reaper Death Seal, meaning to stop for a second, and then the third Hokage started doing them. The third was able to do it, and then he told Minato to treat their children the same way he would treat anyone else, equally, fairly, and he wishes the best for Naruto. And of course, he seals away the whole entire Nantals. Not the whole Nantals, sorry. Half the Nantals into Naruto and half into Kushina, as Kushina was dying. Kushina would be able to survive here, as the third Hokage would fall to his death. And now, the tale of our gutsy ninja would begin. Naruto would be running through the village at the age of 3. He was running and weaving villages, throwing tin cans, glass bowls, not bottle glasses, glass bottles, and all sorts of things. Naruto was used to this kind of treatment. He was treated as a demon, while his two younger siblings were treated as heroes of the village, as they were able to survive the Nanto's attack as just children. Now, Naruto would return home with scratches, wounds all over his body. Kushina would look at him and ask what happened, treating him pretty well at first. This would be how Naruto's life would be for the first 4 years of his life. On Naruto's 4th birthday, and also Mito and Menma's, Jiraiya actually came and he revealed the prophecy of two beings sent from the whole different world, divine beings, being able to control the tail beasts, being able to control many things, being so strong that will bring peace to this world. However, they will go through many trials and tribulations from the day they were born till the day they pretty much bring peace upon the shinobi world. Minato and Kushina straight away thought of Menma and Mito. Their first birthday, or their first hour of their life, they went through the Nanta's attack. They survived. Two people. They thought that it would be them being able to control Naruto, not control, but tame Naruto, or tame the Nantas. Now, Menma's and Mito's training would begin straight away on that day. Even after their birthday party, they would train a lot. Naruto would look on from his little window. Naruto's room would then be taken away from him at the age of, at 2 months after the training with Menma and Mito began, as they needed a room for meditation in their house, and so Naruto's room was used. As Naruto would have his own room, as he was the older one, and now he would have to, go into the attic. Now, of course, Menma and Mito, of course, had their own rooms as well. Not only because all three of them had their own rooms, but now Naruto would look at them training every single day as their bond grew stronger. Naruto's bond grew weaker as he was distancing himself from his family more and more, slowly but surely being part of the background, being a nobody. Naruto realized that his family doesn't care for him. They only care for themselves, and he's alone, all alone. He feels betrayed, but he can't really do anything. He cries for a few days, not going out, not doing anything, not eating. Of course, Kushina was a bit worried. However, she got over it as she saw Naruto one day just eating on his own, just a cup noodle of ramen, a cup of ramen. Sorry, a cup noodle of ramen. Anyways, now, of course, now Naruto one day, after 6 months of men man Minato beginning their training, Naruto would ask Minato to train him. Minato would look at Naruto and give him a smile, telling Naruto that although he's the oldest, he is the Jinchuriki of the Narutos, so they need to train his other two siblings to be able to control him. Naruto would then look down and say, but shouldn't I be getting trained as well to prevent the Narutos from taking over? Minato laughed, saying, don't worry, your siblings will be there for you one day. You just have to wait and see, and you can admire them from your own little room. Of course, Naruto was saddened by this as he walked out of the home and then returned for the full day. No one really noticed his existence, or he would have a pretty small presence. Even the villagers saw that Naruto would no longer run. One of the villagers even threw a glass bottle at Naruto, hitting Naruto right in the head. A 4-year-old Naruto would start bleeding from the head. Some of the villagers were about to attack more, however they hesitated once they saw the kid, not even trying to run, not even looking after his wound, not even trying to stop the bleeding. He would just sit there. As tears came out of his eyes, he would just stand back up and walk away. As he was walking, everyone was out in awe that Naruto wouldn't do anything, wouldn't try to run away, he would just walk. It's as if he was expecting death. Another villager threw a bottle at him. However, he purposefully missed. Naruto then steps over the broken glass, piercing through his feet as well. Although him having sandals, the glass was big enough to pierce through. Naruto's feet were bleeding, but he kept walking. Naruto didn't really care anymore. He realized that no one cared for him, so why should he care for himself? Naruto would then eventually get to a forest. As he would actually stop walking and look into it, he would see the darkness. He would see the ominous aura. As Naruto would look into the forest, the clouds would build up in the sky. The wind would start howling. Naruto would get scared. However, he realized that maybe this is the only way. Maybe he can end all this whole misery of his. Some villagers realized that Naruto was mistreated. They changed their ways, and they promised themselves the next time they see Naruto, they'll be kind, warm, and loving to Naruto. There was many people who saw Naruto that day, even the Uchihas, although they hated the Namikaze a bit, not as much. They still saw, well, many Uchihas were in the village at the time and were in the vicinity and saw what happened to Naruto. Sasuke even saw this. He thought Naruto was really cool, being able to walk through all that pain, as he knows himself that he would probably start crying and just ask for help. But Naruto just kept walking. Itachi would have seen it too. Itachi would have been astonished, as this was right before his graduation from the academy at the age of 9. He would be astonished that Naruto would have such pain tolerance. He would send a clone to look for Naruto. However, Naruto would be nowhere to be found. He never really expected Naruto to go into a forest. His bleeding would have stopped because of the Naruto's actually stopping it. As the Naruto knows that this kid is quite weak, If he were to lose too much blood, then he'd probably die. And the Nantals didn't want to have to wait for a few more decades, maybe even thousands of years, to be regenerated, as he is such a large amount of chakra. Anyways, now Naruto, who would now be in the forest, he would look around, he would see, he would hear beings around him. He didn't know what they were, but he wouldn't pay too much attention to them. As one of the serpents would attack Naruto, Naruto would look dead into its eye. The serpent saw the pain in Naruto's eye, and instead of trying to bite, swallow, strangle, surround Naruto, slowly, well, crippling him by pretty much, crushing his body, he would stop and go towards Naruto, cautiously but affectionately. The serpent would then latch around Naruto's arm, and it would start crawling around Naruto, or slithering around Naruto, until he was around Naruto's neck. Naruto was confused, but then the snake looked in Naruto's eyes. Naruto felt an emotion from the snake. He's never felt anything like this. Even the Naruto was astonished at what Naruto just did. He used his emotion sensing without even him allowing it. Naruto used it spontaneously, as if it was his own ability. Naruto then smiles and says, "Maybe this will be a bit more fun than I thought. I guess that person has finally arrived, just like the prophecy has told. I just hope it's not another failure." Of course, he means as in Ashura, and anyways now. Of course, Naruto and the serpent would spend their time together, as Naruto had no friends, and anyways now. Of course, the animals in the forest would pretty much become friends with Naruto, as they were quite similar in a way. They didn't have anyone. They would have to fight for their survival. Naruto hasn't been into his home in a week and a half now. Now, Jiraiya would return to visit all of them. Jiraiya does remember Naruto and everything. However, once he arrived, he didn't see Naruto, thinking that he was probably out. In fact, he was. And anyways, he brought gifts for everyone, even Naruto. But he didn't find him, so he was going to save it for later once he returned home. Now, he would go on to observe Mito's and Memona's training, as the two would have already learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Sorry, the Clone Jutsu, not the Shadow Clone Jutsu. They're too young for that. Now, they would actually begin their taijutsu training, learning their mother's taijutsu and learning some fuinjutsu, also their her kinjutsu, which is basically sword style. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto wouldn't return home that night, and of course, Jiraiya would be questioning Minato where Naruto was. Minato says that he'll return soon. It's fine. He always returns a bit late. He's a kid. He's probably playing around with his friends. Jiraiya went along with it, and in the end left with the gift in Naruto's room, what he thought would be Naruto's room. Of course, that was the meditation room, and the gift for Naruto was just a pretty much just a little necklace with a leaf logo on it. Naruto would return home 2 weeks after this event, after making some friends with pretty much marking where his territory was in the Forest of Death. Yes, Naruto was in the Forest of Death this whole time. The villagers saw Naruto and saw that he was alright. Some were relieved, some were pissed, as they were throwing things at him once again. Now, of course, they realized that Naruto must have just been in a bad mood, or he just wanted to die that one day, and now he's returned for some more. The villagers that promised themselves to not hurt Naruto again would actually start throwing things at Naruto once again. But anywho, Naruto would avoid them this time, as he has a purpose in life, to be with his friends, right? His family, his real family, the ones who actually out for him. As Naruto realized, the animals looked out for him much more than his own family did. Now, the Ninetales would be quite surprised that Naruto, within these 3 weeks that he was away from his home, trained with the animals. The animals would train Naruto without Naruto actually understanding what he was doing. The animals would show Naruto how to do things, how to survive in the wilderness, which is an essential skill for ninjas. Naruto would have gained some experience, and anyways, for weeks upon weeks, Naruto would disappear. Nobody would realize until Naruto's birthday. The birthday came about, and Naruto's been out for 2 months now. Nobody realized his presence was completely forgotten. Now, on their fifth birthday, Mito and Menma were celebrating, as many of the clan heads were here, and today was the commemoration of the third Hokage. It was both a happy and a sad day. Naruto would be at the Hokage's graveyard, not graveyard, at the Hokage's grave, as he was buried, and he would thank the Hokage for saving his life all those years ago. As he knows the truth, the first Hokage he did overhear his parents talking about with Jiraiya once back 2 years ago. He's quite smart, like a prodigy, literally. Anyways, now of course he thanks the third Hokage for saving his life, and anyways he would then leave to actually go home for the first time in a while. Naruto would come late once again, and it would already be Menma and Mito opening their gifts. Now, of course, Menma and Mito would be happy with their gifts, and there was an extra gift remaining. There was only one gift, and that one gift was from Mikoto Uchiha. She gave a gift to all three of them, even Naruto. And at first, once Mito saw it, she thought that was theirs. But as they were about to open it, Mito says, "Hey, now, don't be greedy. That's not for you. That's for Naruto." The two remembered that Naruto was actually their brother and said, "Oh yeah, what happened to Naruto? We haven't seen him in a while." Of course, then Naruto would walk in with scratches, wounds everywhere. Naruto would have been training in the wilderness for a while. The clan heads would be surprised. Naruto comes in like this, in this kind of state. What happened to him? Especially Mikoto. Mikoto was confused. Did the villagers attack him once again? Or what? She was very confused. Itachi was actually there. He actually went towards Naruto and asked him what happened. Why is he so injured? Naruto then looked at him and says, "I just tripped. Whatever. It's fine. No need to worry for nobody like me." The clan heads heard that. No, not many cared. But Fugaku, Mikoto, Shikaku, not Shikaku. Shikaku is the One Tails, I believe so. And Shikamaru's dad, basically. You know, Ino's dad, Ichi, I think. And they realize that, you know, Naruto is hurt, however, and no kid his age should be saying that he's a nobody. Like, what's going on here? Now, of course, they asked Minato what was Naruto doing out this late, and Minato says that he's always been like that. They can't really stop him. His little thing. He goes out to play with his friends. I'm sure that some of your children are friends with Naruto. The children looked confused as they looked at each other and were like, "We never see Naruto around the village. He never even comes to the park anymore. We remember him seeing getting bullied, that's it." People were, well, the clan heads were confused, and Minato was like, "But, so what was he been doing all this time outside?" And of course, then Jiraiya would arrive, and the festivities would continue as they would question Naruto later. Naruto would be sitting in his room as someone would knock on his door, or his attic door. Naruto would tell them to come in as Jiraiya would come in. Jiraiya would ask if Naruto found his gift, and Naruto would say, "You mean that necklace?" Jiraiya would be looking forward to seeing Naruto wear it. But then he sees that Naruto is not wearing any necklace. He asks, "Where did it go?" Naruto says, well, I threw her away. Why? And Jiraiya was confused on why. Did he not like it? Naruto says, I didn't have any use for it. It wasn't going to help me in any way. So, why should I keep it? I'm trying to become stronger here on my own. So, if you're going to give me anything useful, you can give me a kunai or a shuriken. That's all I really need from you. If not, you can leave my room. I really don't need to see you. I don't want to see you. I'm not in the mood. Of course, Naruto was quite cold as Jiraiya would walk out of the room and realized that he never really got Naruto a birthday gift. He would walk back into the room, but Naruto disappeared. He was no longer there. As Naruto, and then he actually sees his attic window open. He look out the window and see Naruto jumping up from rooftop to rooftop. He was quite surprised that Naruto actually knew how to do this. Like he was balancing himself against gravity, clearly using chakra control. Naruto would have unlocked his chakra thanks to the beasts training him vigorously. Of course, Jiraiya thought that it was normal as that was Minato's son, and anywho now. He would turn a blind eye to everything as he was more occupied with trying to teach Man Mito, as he thought these were the children of prophecy. Now, Naruto would arrive to his little home, the Forest of Death. As he walks in, he sees someone in the Forest of Death attacking his serpent friend. It was actually Anko. Anko was about to kill the serpent until Naruto comes in with a kick. Anko wasn't expecting it and she was kicked quite hard. Anko then growls and says, who dares do that to the great Anko? Of course, Naruto then looks and Anko then looks at Naruto and says, Naruto? Namikaze? Naruto says, I don't know any Naruto. Namikaze. I'm just Naruto. And anyways, she would ask what Naruto's doing here. Shouldn't he be going celebrating his party? As Naruto would say, well, it's not really his party. It's actually his siblings. He doesn't really care. He never really celebrates his birthday. It's all his done anyways. He really doesn't care. And plus, his presence is too little to be even noticed. Anko was confused as she always thought that Naruto was like the center of attention in the village. But anyways, now, of course, she would ask why he's protecting such vile creature who kills people. And Naruto says they only kill if you invade their territory. And clearly you're invading their territory. You should get out before the whole flock comes in. As in, I shouldn't say flock, but the whole everyone comes to the rescue. Anko then laughs, saying that there's no way some beasts from this forest can kill her. And Naruto says, don't underestimate the beasts of the forest. As he says that, Naruto pretty much body flickers right in front of Anko, and Anko's confused. How does Naruto, a 5-year-old, know the body flicker? Clearly, Naruto has been learning on his own. He realizes that with chakra, he can do many things, and the body flicker was just one of the many things that he learned on his own. He just thought of it and he's like, that could work, that could move even faster. I mean, chakra amplifies your abilities in any kind of ability, so why can't I increase my speed? Now, of course, Anko was confused on how Naruto was able to use such skill with the body flicker or just use the body flicker in the first place. Now, clearly, Naruto had caught her off guard, and he says, if you're going to kill them, you're going to have to kill me with them. I'm not going to let my friends die. Anko heard friends, and she started laughing, saying that these are just creatures who want to eat him as food, and not his friends. And Naruto says, then why haven't they eaten me in the past year? Anko realizes what Naruto just said, and she understands that Naruto has pretty much revealed himself to be coming here for the past year. Anko then says you shouldn't be coming in the forest of death, it's dangerous, and Naruto says get out. As he says that, pretty much Anko then tells Naruto that if he ever needs training, she can train him, as she can see potential in Naruto, and Naruto says that I don't need your training. Clearly, you're a woman who doesn't care for my friends. And anyways, now, of course, uncle left the serpent alone and would go back to her own thing. Of course, Naruto and his little friend would have actually, well, stayed together. And anyways, now night would fall as Naruto would start heading home. He would say goodbye to his friends or to his, well, serpent. And anyways, now, once he arrived home, of course, Minato and Kushina were waiting. They were waiting for him as they were confused on where Naruto was. Why wasn't he in the party? And Naruto told them that he went out for a bit. He needed to cool down a bit. He just went out for a walk. Kushina then says, "Well, a 4 hour walk, and you seem a bit sweaty." Naruto then reveals that you know he's actually been running around a bit, doing some cardio. And Kushina asks why. You gave him permission. And Naruto says it's running. Do I really need permission? Of course, Naruto's talking back here, and she says, "How dare you talk back to me?" And Naruto says, "Well, why can't I talk back to you? I mean, I didn't really do anything bad, did I now?" Of course, mm, Minato then actually breaks up this little quarrel, saying, Naruto, calm down, go to your room. Just next time you go out, tell us." Naruto then mumbles to himself, like, you guys even care. You didn't notice I wasn't here for a full month. And now you notice? What? Is it because some people mentioned it to you? Would I have been forgotten if they didn't mention me to you guys? Of course, Kushina's like, Naruto, how dare you talk to your parents like that? And pretty much she would slap Naruto, as Naruto would get kind of pissed off, and is like, I always hated you guys. As he says that, he'd go to his own room in his little attic. Now, if you another year would pass and Naruto would now be 6, the clan heads of the Uzumaki and the Namikaze would be given to Menman Mito, and now Naruto wouldn't be a clan head anymore. Of course, some people were confused on why Naruto isn't the clan head, as in, oh, since he is technically the oldest, and he should be getting the clan head status, but clearly not. Now, of course, Naruto didn't really care, and on their birthday, he would still come in late, and pretty much people would have seen Naruto, and Itachi would see Naruto's physique having changed a lot during the past year and a half, or the full year, and as a year and a half, or 1 year, and clearly Naruto has gotten stronger, and he can see the defined muscle in Naruto's arm. Now, Tsunade would actually come here for once and give a gift to both Menma and Mito, but she was actually here to give a gift to Naruto as well. Of course, once Naruto saw the gift, he was kind of happy because he got a kunai, and he's like, "Wow, thank you. It's the best gift I've ever really received. The other ones are all in the attic. It's my bed. That's it." And then you now. Of course, Tsunade was confused on what Naruto was talking about, and she thought that he was trying to make a joke, but clearly Naruto was being dead ass. Like, he hasn't received any gifts. Like, the bed, the blanket, not even a bed, a futon. Would that be a gift? And then you now. Of course, now we would have a little bit of a time skip, and the time skip to when Naruto is 10. Naruto has already enrolled in the academy, as his parents thought that maybe he should start training a little bit to be a ninja, maybe, and they put him in the academy. Now, Naruto pretty much would easily plow through everything in the academy easily, and there would be an extra person there. That person would be a spy on the Akatsuki, and she would be Tsukuyomi Mother's granddaughter, actually spying on Naruto, keeping an eye on the Nanto's Jinchuriki if he does anything weird. And then now, of course, she's seen Naruto's training, and she's seen how Naruto's treated at home, like he never existed. His two siblings are quite smart. In fact, prodigies. They don't really bully Naruto or anything, but they are quite arrogant. Naruto is that one quiet kid in class who doesn't really care. He does his work. He gets the more bare minimum to pass. And anyways, now during this 2 years during the time skip, Naruto has unlocked this new ability. During this time skip, Naruto has lost all his friends in the Forest of Death. They all died because of some people killing. Naruto wanted revenge. However, the souls of the, well, clearly it was a survival of the fittest. And if the people who didn't kill his friends, they would have probably died because of his friends. Naruto would look at all their dead bodies and would cry, as those were his only friends. After that, everything went blank, as in the forest went darker than usual. Naruto would then look on, his eyes no longer being blue, but purple for a second. Flame, black and purple flames coming out of his body like it was some kind of cloak. Then Naruto would then pretty much instinctively say arise, as he says that his army has finally begun. Naruto has gotten the Shadow Monarch powers, as he was no vessel of the Shadow Monarch, but he was the reincarnation of the Shadow Monarch. And anywho, not only Indra, I mean not Indra, Ashura, but the Shadow Monarch as well. Now, Naruto would walk forward towards the towards the dead bodies, and he would pretty much bury them alive, as now he had them as shadows. Now they would see pretty much Naruto and Team Seven, well, not Team Seven, sorry, Naruto passing his exams, and we would have another 2 year time skip. Here, the well, Danzo was dealt with by Minato, so the Uchiha massacre does happen. Naruto, on his 12th birthday, he would walk into home, and it was nearing graduation. Clearly, it just said, "Happy birthday, man, Mito." This is where Shikamaru was pissed off. He's like, "You guys always forget Naruto, don't you?" As he says that, of course, everyone is quite surprised that Shikamaru would say that. It's very rude. And Shikamaru then looks around and says, "Where is Naruto? His name is not even on the banner over there. Clearly, you only have two candles for the two to blow out. So what's going on? Why isn't Naruto here? Isn't he your child as well?" And anywho, now Naruto, Shikamaru will turn around and pretty much leave the party. Although his father told him to not to, he's like, "I want to go sleep. This is just a drag." Now, of course, Sakura would remain. No, not Sakura. A few people would remain, but Uchiha would actually leave. Not Naruto and Sasuke would be quite good friends here. Not the best of friends, actually, the best friends here. And anyways, now, of course, Naruto would then go on to train with Itachi, and it was not Itachi but Sasuke. And then you now Sasuke would already have his tutor Sharingan by the age of 12, whereas Naruto has pretty much nothing, just taijutsu and knowledge. And then you now, sorry, anywho now, Naruto would come in, and pretty much his siblings would look at him in disgust as he ruined their party, pretty much. Now Naruto looks back at them and says, "What did I do? Just came back from outside. You got a problem with that?" As he says that, pretty much the kunai was thrown at him, as Naruto's reaction time was so good that the kunai didn't even reach him. He was actually able to catch the kunai and pretty much spin it around his hand. He was like, "Alright, so you're just going to throw a kunai at me now? You know I am your older brother. Did you know that?" As he said that, he gives us some pressure, but then Minato's like, "That's enough, you guys. It's alright, Naruto. It's alright, sorry, not Naruto. It's alright, man, Mamito. Let's just go home now." And then Naruto would then go home as well in the second day, as Tsukome would have been following Naruto everywhere. And then now Naruto hasn't noticed that he's been followed for years upon years. And then now Lee would have actually helped the well, small Hinata when she needed help when she was lost, and so Naruto wasn't there for her. So her crush was mostly on Lee, a hardworking well, unachieving student for now. And then we go on to see Naruto pretty much having enough, as well, clearly he was about to throw the kunai back, as but of course Minato stopped the fight. Once the party was over, Minato would have actually scolded Naruto and told him to go to his room. Naruto would have snapped and said, "Is that really a room? If that's what you consider a room, you need to fix up. Clearly, that's just an attic where I can barely fit any of my books, any of my scrolls. Have you realized how much pain you've caused me? You, you're meant to be a family, but clearly you completely forgot about me. Whatever, it's fine. It's not like I have to call you family. If you want to kick me out, it's fine by me. I'll just go find somewhere else to live. Or I just won't sleep. I'll just sleep on the streets of Konoha." Of course, then Minato, oh well, Kushina was pissed off and she's like, "How dare you speak to your parents like that?" And Naruto's like, "You have no right to call me your son, and you have no right to call yourself a parent of mine, as clearly you have failed as what you were signing up for. Being a parent is completely different. No favoritism should have been taken into account, but clearly there is. Now Naruto would then walk out of the home at night and he would go off somewhere into the forest. As he does, a massive snake would attack Naruto, which Naruto would easily take out with one kunai and then arise him. Now, of course, of course, Tsukomi knows about Naruto's abilities and everything, and she actually finds Naruto really, well, attractive, mostly. She doesn't want to kill him, and in fact, she actually tries to get closer to him every time. Nar- Naruto pretty much would train, she would just look at him the whole time. And anyways, now Naruto would have left and he'd be in the forest of death chilling for the next 2 weeks or for the rest of the year. Naruto wouldn't show up to class, wouldn't show up home, and of course Iruka was quite worried. So he went to the Fukukage and asked about it. Minato said that their family had a little fight and Naruto just ran away. Of course, Iruka's like, "That's not what Hokage should be doing. You, as a father, should be going after Naruto." Now, look, where could he have been? You know clearly, way too well that Naruto is mistreated in this village, and you still allow it. He's your own son. Maybe have some sympathy for once and think with your head instead of with your powers. Anyways, now, of course, Iruka goes on to search for Naruto, and he sees that Naruto has completed every question. Sorry, you would see, no, every question. I said question, sorry. You would see that Naruto was actually in the forest of death, just sitting down on a tree branch. Of course, I said question. I'm getting quite kind of sleepy. It's 3 a.m. I'm going to go sleep now. And anywho, now, of course, Yuriko would tell Naruto to come to his home as he'll take care of him for now. Naruto would accept, as he actually has quite a good bond with Yuriko now. Naruto and Yuriko would bond with each other, so Naruto would build like a father-son relationship with Yuriko for the next 3 months. As 3 months was all the time that there was left until the final graduation exam or the final exam. Now, all the people who would pass in the original would pass. Also, Naruto here, so Mizuki would be caught out easily by Minato. And then you now, of course, I'm going to replace, well, Kiba here, as Kiba wouldn't be here, and Tsukume would be in Kiba's place. Now, Team 7 would, of course, be made out of Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke, and have Kakashi as their team leader. Sorry, Team 7 would have been made out of a whole different team, not just Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, but also Menma and Mito. And their team leader would be, not well, it would actually be Kakashi on his own, not an extra team joining team leader. Now, of course, Naruto was a bit surprised that he's been put in the same team as his siblings, as he thought that Minato would have just forgotten about him. Once he saw Naruto's name, he kind of thought of Iruko's words, and he's like, maybe I should put him with his siblings to allow them to bond with each other. After all, have kind of been isolating Naruto. Minato would have realized that, ever since they heard of the prophecy, they've isolated Naruto and pretty much, well, they distanced themselves from Naruto. And this kind of made Minato sad, as clearly he is still his son. And anywho, now, of course, Team 7 would have had to wait for hours until Kakashi arrived, and then Kakashi actually arrives. He asks them their dreams, goals, and dislikes, likes, and of course, Sakura goes first, looking at Sasuke and Menma the whole time. Then Menma and Mito would say that they like spending time with their family, having ramen. Sorry about that. Sorry. Over there. And pretty much now. Then it was Sasuke. Sasuke says that he likes training with Itachi and he one day wants to be the, well, clan head. And then it was actually Naruto's turn. And just saying, Men Mito both want to become Hokage. Naruto would then say that his likes are spending time in the forest of death, and this raised an eyebrow from Kakashi. And then he will go on to say his dislikes are spending time with people like these people, like you guys, and anyone that is not himself, and nature, or just animals. And the third, his goal is one day to, well, have become a good father, have kids, and build a family. Now, of course, Kakashi was confused on why Naruto would want to build a family. However, he doesn't like the company of others. Naruto, of course, he does mention to Naruto. Naruto says, "When I say the company of others, I don't mean the companies or the people that I like. There are people who I do like, but I'm not going to mention them here, as you guys have no right to know." Anyways, now I think today is over. I know you're too lazy. I know you're too lazy to take any tests today. I already know you're probably going to announce a test for tomorrow. Of course, Kakashi would then say yes. Tomorrow there will be a test, so be ready. Do not eat in the morning, and I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. sharp. And then actually, so then I'll see you at 1 p.m. Bye. As he says that, he actually jumps off. As Men Manito look on to see Naruto pretty much jumping again onto another rooftop, and then once he jumps one more time into the air, he would then disappear with the body flicker. Of course, then he would actually create a little bit of a tornado in the mid-air with leaves, but then the leaves would disappear and what would just fall down. And anyways, now they were confused on what Naruto did, but anyway, of course, Kakashi knew, and also Sasuke knew. Tsukumi would be following Naruto everywhere, even with a clone. And anyways, now